It's a live and ride, baby. So I got my camera on the dashboard. Anyway, let's get started. Look, when you look within, you always win. And yeah, I got to tell you something. I always talk about how to make sure that you live the life of your dreams because that's my goal for you. And also, I want your life to be easy. And if you want an easy life out here, I'm telling you, there's some things that you need to do, and there's some things that you need to not do. I always tell people what to do, but there's some things that, well, if you do certain things, you'll stop doing other things. One of the things that is probably causing you more problems than you really know is what you listen to over the course of time every single day. Now, I'm telling you, hearing is actually the most important faculty or sense that we have in terms of creating the life of our dreams. It is hearing. I know it seems like it's seeing. I know it seems like it might be touching, but in reality, to create the life that you want to live, that I want to live, it is really about our hearing. Now, a lot of us have heard certain things over the course of our lives that have been really, really damaging to the life that we want to live. For example, we've heard all along that money does not grow on trees. Well, in fact, money is paper, or the first money was papyrus, right? And a lot of that does actually grow on trees, number one. But number two, what it does is it's conditioning our minds. See, the words itself are not really the problem. It is the intention behind the words. So when somebody says money does not grow on trees, what they're really saying is there is a limited amount and you ain't got that much of it, and neither do I. So therefore, don't use all my limited amount of money. So that's the first thing. So when somebody says money does not grow on trees, we hear that over and over and over again as we grow up. And then we start to believe that there is a limited amount, there are limited resources. It makes it harder for us to be abundant because money does not grow on trees. All right, the next one we've heard a lot of times. Money is the root of all evil. Well, the actual scripture said the love of money is the root of all evil. But even that, just putting evil with money, so to speak, is really a problem, because then we start saying that, I've heard it said that only the top 1% only cares about themselves. I actually heard that stated pretty recently. And the thing is, I'm one of the top 1% in my mind, for sure. And I've been one of the top 1%. I've been $1 million earner. To be one of the top 1%, I don't know how much you have to have, but I'm pretty close to it. And I care about a lot of people. Actually, I want everybody, as many people as possible, to be in the top 1%. There's not a limited amount. All of us could be the top 1%. Well, and then it just changes. But all of us right here, you under the sound of my voice, could literally be a millionaire before the end of the year. Like, it's possible, but the belief that it's not possible is the problem. Because if I say, hey, you can be a millionaire before the end of the year, it is October 31st. That means you got 2 months to make $1 million, and not just make $1 million, to become a millionaire. Now, somebody would say, oh, that's impossible. That's the problem right there. Why would somebody say that it's impossible? If you're out there, if you're saying that that's impossible, why would you say it's impossible for you to make $1 million before the end of the year? I'll tell you why. Because you have heard that that's not possible. You have heard that you have to do certain things. You have to work hard to make it. You have to do certain things over the course of so many years, and that's how people make it. Or you hear that people who make it like that are stingy. They're just greedy and just, I don't want that much money. I'm just saying that because you have heard these things over the course of your life, that's what you're going to believe. And I say this all the time. Here is the formula for living. What's up, everybody? Here is the formula. Here's the formula. Here's the formula. What's up, Top J, FN? There you go. I see you. But like, here's the formula for living. I've said it 1,000,000 times, and I'll continuously say it. I'm saying it all the time. The formula is this: as a man thinks in his heart, or as a person thinks in their heart, so are they. Your experience of life is going to be based upon what is in your heart or in your subconscious mind, period. What you are experiencing right now, what I'm experiencing right now, is just a reflection of what's in my subconscious mind or in my heart. So therefore, if I want to change my experience of life, then I need to change what's in my subconscious mind. How do I change what's in my subconscious mind? If I want to change what's in my subconscious mind, I have to change my dominant, consistent thoughts. Because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So if you want to change what's in your subconscious mind, change your thoughts. If you want to change your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, you have to change what you consistently hear. Because as a man hears, so he thinks. So as a woman hears, so she thinks. If you want to say it in a female. When I say man, I just mean person. A human. So, or as a man, or as a mind. I can use mind. As a mind thinks, so is he. As a mind hears, so the mind thinks. So therefore, if you want to change what you consistently think about, you just have to change what you consistently hear. That this is the magic potion of life. If everybody in the world could understand that you could change your life. Look, you, John. If you could change, you can change your life by changing what you consistently and constantly hear. And I gotta say, he said this: Jesus Christ is the way, the life, and the truth. That is exactly true. But you gotta understand who Jesus is. Like, we all have to understand, Jesus is not somebody that is somebody who is different than us. Jesus was showing us who we really are. Jesus is supposed to be a reflection of us. That's what Jesus wants for us. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Absolutely. Because Jesus is trying to show us who we are. Jesus always went around saying something like this: I and the Father are one. Why did Jesus say that? Because Jesus had to tell himself. Sometimes humanity tries to tell you that you are different than what God made you. Sometimes situations in life try to tell you that you're not what God made you. And Jesus all the time had to say, I and the Father are one. Why would Jesus say that? Because Jesus had to hear that to consistently and constantly remind himself of who he really is. This is why hearing is so important. So did you know that speaking is hearing? Believe it or not. As I said, the formula is so simple. If you understand how that consistent hearing will change your consistent thoughts. Your consistent thoughts will change what's in your subconscious mind or in your heart. And what's in your heart will change your experiences of life. So if you want to change your life, change your thoughts. If you want to change your thoughts, change what you consistently hear. But also, the most powerful voice in the entire universe is your voice. It's your voice. Your voice, because what ends up happening is every time you speak, what's up, everybody? Every time you speak, you hear it. Because what happens, every word spoken by you is also spoken to you. That's one of the other formulas. So therefore, when you're speaking things to yourself, when you tell yourself that you're successful, when you tell yourself that you're smart, when you tell yourself that you're rich, when you tell yourself that you look good, when you tell yourself you look good, feel good, and smell good, when you tell yourself that you have perfect health, victory, joy, love, peace, fun, and money, when you tell yourself all these times, do you know what ends up happening? You end up hearing that. And what that does, this is why hearing is so very important. What hearing does is that, especially the voice when it's your own voice, it drops down inside of you. And if you know that you have an internal voice. We all know that. All right, so look, I want to do an experiment with you. On the count of 3, anybody who's listening to this right now, I want you to say the word rock star inside your mind. Do not say it out loud. Do not move your lips if possible. But I want you to say inside your own mind, I want you to say rock star. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Say it again on the inside, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, listen to this. Whose voice did you hear on the inside? Of course, it was your own voice. Because this is what happens when you speak to yourself correctly. That voice that's on the outside, your external voice, starts conditioning your internal voice. And then when your internal voice says the same thing as your external voice, then, oh my God, things start happening in your life. So therefore, but you ever notice that the internal voice just a lot of times is condemning? Will say, oh, I'm so stupid. What's wrong with me? Why am I so dumb? What's wrong with me? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Well, it's because the internal voice has been affected by all the negative hearing that it's heard over the course of its life. And so therefore, that internal voice is so very powerful that guess what ends up happening? You start thinking about those things because that internal voice is saying those things. And then when you start thinking about those things, remember your consistent and dominant thoughts, they start lodging into your subconscious mind. And what's in your subconscious mind, baby, you're going to see it into your material life. That's just how life works. That's the formula. So if I have to say anything, and I say this all the time, if you want to change your life, change what's in your subconscious mind or in your heart. If you want to change what's in your heart, change your consistent and dominant thoughts. If you want to change your consistent and dominant thoughts, change what you've been hearing. Hear positive, you'll think positive. Think positive, you'll believe and have it in your heart positive. And you have those things in your heart, then you're going to see positives. But if you keep hearing music over and over again, yes, I'm getting on music, okay? If you keep listening to music that's always talking about killing, that's always talking about drug use, that's always talking about things like that, you might say, oh, it's only entertainment. That's all it is. Do you know the word entertainment means to hold your attention? Did you know that? You may not have known that. Entertain means to hold one's attention. That's what it means. And so therefore, when you entertain all that music and negativity, I promise you, you will see those very things in your life. Why? Because you'll think about them. And then what happens is they'll lodge themselves in your subconscious mind. And then therefore, what you see in your subconscious mind is what you get. So anyway, so that's all I have to say to you guys. I'm telling you, if you want to change your life, change what you consistently hear. And look, I want to challenge you guys on something. If you want to have a challenge, I love challenges. I believe that you can change your life just by your thoughts. I want to challenge you to make $500 in the next couple of weeks. I want to challenge you with your own mind, without anything else, with your own mind. Make $500 because look, I have a school group. You want to join the school group, but you know my group now it does. You got to pass a test to get in my group, my school group. You got to pass a $500 test to get in my school group. The link will be in the description one of these days. But what ends up happening is you have to pass the $500 manifestation test. And how do you do that? This is what you do. All you have to do is, I'll put a link to the other video, but all you have to do is you have to write down on the card, I'm so happy and thankful for my $500. And every single day you have to visualize yourself already in possession of that $500. This is what you do. I promise you, you consistently and constantly do that, $500 will come from somewhere, and then you'll be like, oh my God, how did this even happen? And then you'll have to make a choice. You'll make a choice at this moment. Because like the things that I teach, man, I'll tell you, there's some stuff that's inside our school group that's even more powerful and more explosive than this. But I am pretty hyped up right now. But with the things that I teach inside